I'm here today inside due to the rain for a bench chat with my friend, singer songwriter Tor Miller. So, Tor, tell everyone who you are and who you're grieving.
Yeah, so my name's Tor Miller. I am grieving my dad who passed away 2 years ago. And it was actually his birthday on Sunday,
Mm.
which is 5 days after he passed.
Oh,
So it becomes this like weird kind of double whammy where
right.
you're sort of honoring the death day, and
Hmm.
then his birthday is like right after. So it's a kind of a weird one to know like what to do.
What did you do on his birthday, or did you do anything special?
Well, on his birthday, I flew out because I just moved to LA. So I flew back here and hung out with my mom and my brother and his family.
Okay.
And so it was nice. And then it was like we kind of all just like shared something about my dad and
Mm.
drank some bourbon and,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
yeah, it was really
I'm
nice.
glad you could all be together.
Yeah, and we're trying to figure out like our way to, it's so new too. So what tradition that we kind of
Absolutely.
carry on is still in flux. Yeah.
Right. Well, if you don't mind, tell me a little about your dad.
Yeah, so my dad, Robert Miller, he was an estate lawyer, worked in New York for years. Conveniently, like his law firm helped us quite a bit when he passed. But he came from a really small town in Pennsylvania. He was like one of the first in our family to go to college, went to law school, um, like really kind of took the family to a kind of new level. He was a very gregarious, very funny, um, sharp guy, like very
Mhm.
smart. He could be, he was sort of everyone's favorite dad, and he could switch it on and off, So
Mhm.
I remember as a kid really wondering like why everyone felt that way because he was one of those sort of like antisocial socialite kind of people. He could
Mhm.
really be very insular. So the guy kind of contained multitudes for sure. He was a major pain in the ass as well. But like I said the other day at his birthday, like I mean, but he was our pain in the ass.
Right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
What's something you would tell someone who's newly grieving?
I think something that really helped me, I had decided basically like the minutes after he passed
Mhm.
that I am just going to let myself feel everything the moment I feel it. And I'm not going to hold it in ever, no matter the situation or the circumstance, because I knew myself. And it's kind of crazy in retrospect to think I had that foresight already, like
Right.
basically right after,
Mhm.
to be like, listen, dude, like I know you. If
Mhm.
you hold this stuff in, it's gonna just manifest in the worst way in years, like down the road, and you'll blow up, and like you'll have no reason, you'll have no understanding as to why.
Right.
So it was really important to me to just not judge myself, and
Mhm.
I'm already so hard on myself. So I was like, just let yourself feel these things, and not that you ever get over it, but like at the very least, like that initial grief, you can just kind of let seep out of your pores in a way.
Mhm.
Be present in the moment and just don't try to hold anything in.
Mhm. And yeah, shortly after Jack passed, I received a text message from someone who said, "All you can do is let yourself feel." And
Yeah.
similarly to you, I feel so grateful that someone said that to me
Hmm.
early on, and I allowed myself,
Yeah.
let myself do that because I do think it really helped.
Well, I was in Austin, Texas, like 3 months ago, and I'm just talking to a friend's friend who I'm meeting for the first time,
Mhm.
and then I'm just like talking about my dad, and I start crying.
Yeah.
And but then it was like we had this like really special moment. So it's like
Mhm.
without that, like maybe we wouldn't have become so close
Right.
too. So it presents a lot of like beautiful opportunities in a weird way. Opportunity may be the wrong word, but
Now, what's something that surprised you about grief or grieving?
I felt so alive.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like I think
yeah.
like especially in our day and age, and not to get like, whatever heady about it, but I think that we're so desensitized to begin with, right?
Mhm.
And it was this weird thing that so I had given in to the idea of like I'm just gonna like fully feel everything
Mhm.
and just be in the moment. And I really did. And it was like this weird thing where it's like, of course, I'm so completely crushed and I would do anything to have my father back.
Mhm.
But in this weird kind of way, like I'm living. This is like
Mm.
real life. Like, and I was so in touch with like the past, present, future. Like it was kind of insane and
Right.
surreal. And and you just kind of, I felt like I lifted this kind of veil, this like fog that I was living in for just
Mhm.
a few moments, and I was like, saw things, in Technicolor. Yeah,
Absolutely, that's beautiful.
it's a weird one, and like
Yeah,
I've even
and
said that because a friend of mine lost his father a few months ago,
mhm,
and I was like, just let yourself feel it, and like in some weird way, like you're gonna feel very like
mhm.
present, very alive. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I felt that, and you just verbalized it beautifully. So
Yeah, and
thank
it's a
you.
weird one because like you almost want to feel guilty for saying that, and you're not
Right.
enjoying it. You're
Right.
certainly not enjoying it, but obviously a part of life is grief and sadness and pain, and it's
Mhm,
like if you lean into them fully, like
mhm.
yeah, you I don't know, it's very it's not diluted or anything. It's very pure. Yeah,
Absolutely. When's a time, that your grief hit you when you least expected it to? Has it caught you off guard?
yeah, loads of time. Um, I think the first one for me,
Yeah.
which is the one that stuck with me the most, was
Mhm.
like um, I was in the kitchen with my fiancée Sophia, and we're singing Frank Sinatra.
Mm,
And then just all of a sudden, and we're having such a great time, and we're cooking dinner, and it's like a really beautiful moment. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, so like I have a pit in my stomach.
mm,
Like I'm like, oh my God, this was my dad. My dad and I, we just listen to Frank Sinatra in the car all the time.
mm.
And then I was like, I went from such a high, having such a great moment of like, oh, I'm always going to remember this. Me and my fiance, early days, cooking, singing, and stuff. And then it
Right.
became very depressing,
Mhm.
and I became very sad. And it kind of ended that night, that
Right.
evening, like,
Right.
and so that was like kind of the first one where I was like, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What do you miss most about your dad?
I think, yeah, I mean, just everything is the
Yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Part of the grief that I'm at right now is
Mhm.
like looking more to the future, right? And it's this thing. I was 29, or I just turned 29 when my dad passed away, and like God forbid I live a long life, like
Mhm.
uh, I will live longer on this earth without him
Mm,
than I will have with him here, and that shit just is so sad.
mhm.
And then um, I think like it's tough because as of late too, there's been some like kind of career highlights, personal
Mm,
highlights. Like I got engaged, and
okay.
certain career things are like going well. And I think anytime I play a show, uh, you just want to call them,
Right.
and you want to share it with them, and they would
Mhm.
be so stoked, and because they shared so much of it with you when they were alive, so that's very tough to deal with.
Mhm.
And not as much anymore, but like there was a period where I was like really convinced I could call him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and that
Mhm.
we just hadn't spoken because I'd moved to LA and all this stuff, and then yeah,
Right.
it comes crashing down, the reality of it.
How was it? I know you moved to LA shortly after or shortly before he
I
passed?
moved to LA 8 months after he had passed
Okay.
because I wanted to be there for my mom,
Okay.
and just kind of be around a bit.
Oh, that's
Uh,
amazing.
but he was a massive supporter of me moving out there,
Yeah.
and I think like I had him with me. That like gave me the kind of courage to do it as well.
Mhm.
I want to give the guy a fucking hug, like
Mhm.
that would be nice. Just one
Absolutely.
more, yeah.
Yeah. Is it getting harder? Is it getting easier?
Generally easier.
Mhm.
Um, it never goes away though.
Right.
I think that, and I think about him every day, but
Mhm.
maybe I don't like focus on it nearly as much as I used to.
Right.
Like I can kind of have passing memories of him and just let them go, and then kind of get on with what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Whereas maybe even a few months ago, you get a memory and you latch onto it so hard,
Mhm.
and you can't let it go, and then you kind of spiral a bit, and you're thinking about everything, but
Absolutely.
it never goes away. You just like kind of build around it, you
Mhm.
callous around
Mhm.
it. And I think there was something powerful about actually seeing him die,
Mhm.
because then it's like, no, he's dead. I
Right.
saw it, yeah.
It's real
Yeah,
from
yeah,
moment one.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
then in the grief, like, because as I was saying before, like, I had the moments where it was like, "Oh, I can call him." Like, you
Right.
kinda convince yourself for a moment, even though
Mhm.
but,
Right. Right.
like, it was like, "No, no, I saw it happen." Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I felt the same way. I was with Jack,
Yeah,
and I feel bad for his family and friends who weren't there
yeah,
because there is something about watching that moment and being there that I do think helps you with the grieving
Yeah,
process, you
yeah.
know. So I'm so glad that you were able to be there. Well, you've done such a great job of honoring your dad through your posts and through your music, and that's been really beautiful to witness.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for sharing your dad with the world.
Yeah,
And
and thank you
yeah,
for sharing Jack and all. I mean,
yeah,
I when I had messaged you, I mean, like I was being honest, like it is very helpful to see all that,
yeah,
and I think that obviously there, you know, it's like a community of people who grieve,
absolutely.
and um, I think it's just nice to know how people kind of handle it. And,
Thank you for being open with your grief, and I think I hope and I'm sure that you've inspired other people as well to be more transparent and vulnerable, and it's just really beautiful what you're doing, so thank you. I
thanks.
really appreciate
Same.
it. Any final thoughts on grieving or grief?
Like let yourself feel how you feel, you know,
Absolutely.
and don't be so hard on yourself, really, because you
Hmm.
don't need any
Right.
more difficulty. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's funny, those sound like such simple things, and yet they are the most difficult things to do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
it
you have
really
to
is.
remind yourself.
Yeah,
But I think that's beautiful
yeah.
advice, so thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'd love for you to share a song if you're up
Yeah.
for it.
3 months after my dad passed, I went up to upstate New York. My friend was making an album um, up there, and he's like, "Why don't you just come and hang?" And it's really
Mhm.
pretty up here. And I started writing this song, and this was the most difficult thing for me to do.
Mm,
But I remember, and I have this voice memo where I'm just like sobbing, crying the whole time. But I knew how important it was to do,
mm,
especially because of how hard it was. And I was like, this is really going to help me deal with some of this stuff. So this is called Find My Love.
mm.
What do I do? How can I stay if I can't bear the look of your face? If I touch your hand, if you feel my way, know that it's alright now to slip away. No need to bother, we'll be just fine. Sons and daughters get left behind. I'll be thinking of you till the day I die. I'm hoping you'll find my love on the other side. I'm hoping you'll find my love on the other side. I wake up at dawn, hoping each day will be the one my aching heart begins to fade. Well, I can't believe, still to this day, that it's been 3 long months since you've been away. No need to bother, we'll be just fine. As sons and daughters get left behind, I'll be thinking of you until the day I die. I'm hoping you'll find my love on the other side. I'm hoping you'll find my love on the other side.
That was so beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Rena. That was gorgeous.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for sharing that.
Yeah. My name's Tor Miller. It's Tor Miller Music on all the socials. You can find it anywhere on the internet.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah,
Tor.
thanks.
Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.